Welcome! In this tutorial, we will learn how to create a new account in CrossConcept Continuum. Please note that the creation of at least one account is a prerequisite for the project creation. An account is an entity that represents a customer or client in our company. From the left menu, we go into Accounts, and under the Account Management group, we select Accounts. If there are accounts already created for the company, they will appear in this list. To create a new account, we click the Add button located at the top right. The Accounts Profile window opens in a separate screen. In the General tab, we need to fill the basic details about the customer we want to create, including the name of the account, an account number, and a description. With this checkbox, we can identify if the account is active or inactive. Then we have the account status, such as lead, prospect, or customer. With this checkbox, we can define if we will allow creating projects from this specific account. Then we have the payment terms, which will be populated automatically when selecting this account to create new invoices. And then we have the sales representative and the account manager for this customer. Under the Sales Data section in the same tab, we have additional fields that will help us categorize this customer, such as the industry type, the number of employees, the annual revenue, the rating, the ownership, the standard industry classification code, and the ticker symbol. All these fields are optional. Under the Communication Info tab, we can enter the customer's website. Then we can click this plus symbol to add a new email address. Here we can define if this is a work email address, a personal email address, etc. We can set this as the default email address, and then we can add additional email addresses as required. Below, we can add the client's phone number, also identifying if this is going to be a work, a mobile, or a fax phone number. We can set this as the main phone number, and we can add additional phone numbers as required. In a similar way, we can add a new physical address, identifying if this is going to be a work, billing, or shipping address. We can set this as the main physical address, and we can add additional addresses as required. In all cases, we can remove a record by clicking the X icon under the Action column. In the Contacts tab, we can create a list of resources who will act as contacts for this customer, which is useful for the communications and notification purposes. One of them can be the default contact, and we can add additional contacts as required. Please refer to the corresponding video tutorial to learn how to create a new contact in the system. Under the Custom Fields tab, we have a list of any fields created manually by the system administrators to identify special features in the account entity. In this example, we have industry type or a client rating, but this list can vary depending on the company's configuration. Finally, in the Access tab, we can restrict the access to this account to specific access groups or departments. Likewise, please refer to the corresponding video tutorials to learn how to create a new access group and a new department in the system. To save the changes and keep editing the account, we click the Apply button. To save the changes and close the account profile, we click the Save button. And to discard any changes made before the previous saving, we can click the Revert button. Please note that from this profile, we can also create a new account, or we can delete this account profile. Once the new account is saved, it is displayed in this list. This grid has several columns with the most useful information about the accounts, such as the main contact, the contact information, and the account status. The grid allows us making changes directly in the cells without having to open the account profile again. For example, we can set an account as inactive or change the actual account status. To save the changes made into the grid, we click the Save button in the top right. If we want to add more columns to the grid, we click this arrow in any of the column titles, and then we select the Columns option. By selecting the column checkboxes, they will appear in the list. In this menu, we also have more options to sort the results and to apply filters if required. If the list of accounts is large, we can apply filters from the columns themselves, or we can quickly search for a specific record by expanding these drop-down lists. Finally, if required for reporting purposes, we can group the results by a specific column by dragging it into the top section. Then we could export the results to Excel or PDF format. To remove the grouping, we click the X icon next to the selected column. Under the Action column, by clicking the arrow at the left of each row, we can expand the Contact Summary screen, which will list the resources that have been created as contacts for this specific customer. We also have options to delete the account by clicking the X icon, to access the account profile in Edit mode and also in View mode, and to create a new contact for this customer. As we saw, we have several options and ways to work with accounts and their contacts in the system, which gives us enough flexibility to access these features very easily. We hope you find these instructions useful in your work with CrossConcept Continuum. Thank you for watching this tutorial.